I'm recording. No, but I'll use it for cold opener. But so one thing I've noticed, and it's not all the time. I think it's just it depends on how much. I don't know how much you put into getting ready to come here or whatever.
What?
And I'm not saying to stop by any means. But what's really funny, I've been meaning to ask you for like a couple weeks now, and I keep forgetting. What perfume do you wear?
I'm so glad you asked. I don't wear any perfume technically. It's body sprays from Bath and Body Works that I just go and it's whatever. Seriously. Sometimes it's like 2 or 3 together. Like
because what's really funny, don't knock that off.
Do I smell weird?
No, you don't smell weird. No, it smells good. But what cracks me up is it lingers.
Really?
The next morning, I will come in here tomorrow morning.
It'll smell like this?
And I will smell. Not that it's bad. That's what I'm saying.
I'm losing my sense of smell. I swear to God, because I don't think I smell like anything right now. No.
Like, I don't smell you right now, but like when you first walked in here, I smelled it for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then I got used to it. Now, if I were to walk away and be gone for a couple minutes to cleanse the palate, and I come back,
you'll smell it again.
I would probably smell it again for just a minute.
I've been wearing it too long.
That you've just gotten used to it.
Yeah,
like I said, it's not bad.
Because I go to Bath and Body Works, their clearance sales where everything's 75% off, and I'll just buy whatever is clearance and then just use it throughout the year. And that's what you're getting right now.
Gotcha.
It's probably a mix.
But it was just like one of those things. It's like, I felt like Wolverine. The next morning I come back and I'm like, Amanda's been here.
That's funny.
But like, I think
that's cool because I never think of that stuff as like long lasting. I think you put it on and you don't smell like it anymore. But I guess it does last longer. It
just like lasts in the air. Because like as creepy as it sounds, because I was first I was like following around, like I sniffed the chair to see if it rubbed off on the chair, and I'm like, no, it's not on the chair. It's just like kind of in the air.
Everything does stay trapped in this. Like it's like I'm like an oil burner because it's like so hot too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It is. Well, it's like, and this is gross. Like my daughter will come here the weekend and she'll hotbox it in here because she'll sit and watch YouTube videos and she'll turn the lights off and shut the door, and I'll come in and it's so hot and it's like it smells like her in here, and I was like, oh my God, open the door, get some air, like get some fresh air in this room.
She's like, no, I'm a teenager.
Right. And it's like looking back is like, I think, I remember my sister complaining about my room smelling because I spent all my time in my room as a teenager.
We used to tell our brother that he smelled. And
it's just like you have that, just your scent lingers in that room.
One time my sister and brother shared a room. My younger sister and my brother, he's the baby, they shared a room for probably longer than was appropriate. Okay. Like into like middle school a little bit.
Okay.
And then she's always been never afraid to tell him exactly what's on her mind. One time he got out of the shower and Sarah's like, you made the bathroom smell worse than before you went into shower. Like, get back in the shower.
Oh my God.
That's the kind of things they would yell at each other. Like, I felt that so hilarious. And like today we'll laugh about it, but
that's funny. But I was like, yeah, because I was either way, I was like meaning to ask you about that tonight. And like
just a mix. I couldn't name
first
it.
thing just kind of segued in a weird way into it. It's like
it's weird because I don't replace it with showering, but
well, yeah, I was like, you're not like a teenage boy using Axe, which is like shower in a can.
Ooh, yeah, I remember it doesn't completely cover it either. I remember that from high school. That smell well.
But and I say that like in a weird degrading way, but I use Axe shower gel and deodorant, but I don't use body spray.
Just because you have that bad connotation from high school?
No, it wasn't even. It didn't exist when I was in high school, I don't think.
Oh.
Like, it wasn't until after I got out of high school that Axe became a thing. But I just like the scents. Because, like, they've got, they had, like, some white bottles come out now. I don't know if it's more.
Oh, I don't know.
The one I've got now, it's, like, got pear and.
Wow, it's like
It's, like, more, like, nature-y type. Like, I can't remember what's called forest or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
Cool.
Like,
you got like Bath and Body Works stuff now too.
Because like they have one called Phoenix that I usually get. They had one that was like Dark Sensations or something. It's supposed to be like a chocolate smell. It's like a chocolate smell or something kind of.
Okay.
I had that one for a while, and then I'll still get you both of those too when they're on sale. Because like my wife works at CVS, and like a couple times a year they'll have like big like employee only sales,
And
where
then
they
she
get
stocks
like an
up.
so we'll go and like they have it one weekend only. You get extra so much percentage off. So like we take that time and we'll stock up on soaps and deodorants and
And there was a lady one
toothpaste
time
and all that.
at this job that I worked for. She's like, "Oh, I had to go through my chapstick the other day and throw out the stuff that was expired." And I'm like, "What? Chapstick does
It's a
not
wax.
expire? No, like
It might just get gross looking. And you want to throw it away because of that, but I wouldn't say that it expired.
no. Even then, I wouldn't throw it away. I would still use it. Soldier on. I'm gross
There was
like
there
that.
was some little chapstick thing of Carmex that ended up on the sidewalk. I remember seeing it. I never touched it. Like when I was out mowing or something one day, I was like, "What in the world?" And then like it disappeared. And then we was out walking the kids around because we live on a cul-de-sac, and we're letting the kids ride their bikes on the circle. And my son he's got a tricycle. I love this tricycle because it's got a handlebar that comes up off the back. So when they're little,
you can push
so
them
you can
around.
help. So you can either push them or help. It turns a little bit so you can help steer.
Oh, that's sweet.
It goes into the steering column. But it's got a little trap door in the back, like so they could put toys and whatever in it. So they've put some rocks in there. And then this Carmax tube show they picked
And
it
you're
up.
like, "Ah!"
It was a clue. They're big into Scooby Doo right now, so it was a clue that they found and they'd thrown in there. Well, somehow or another he did something and tipped the trike over while he was riding, and all the rocks and the thing fell out, and he had to pick it all and put it back in. I'm like, yeah. I was like, what's that? And pulled one of those and then took it up and threw it away in a trash can at
Not
the garage.
a clue.
Yeah, I was like, that's a little gross. But so yeah, that was just last week too. So let's get this show on the road. We gotta cue the intro.
Oh, cue it.
I'll let you intro this one.
So what? I'm ill prepared. What do you
I just
say?
said no. You can intro the show. Never mind. This is Amanda.
Oh, I can do that.
Too late. That's Amanda.
I'm Amanda. That's Chad. And you're listening to Chad and Amanda talk shit about.
We're gonna talk shit about Amanda for a little bit.
I don't mind. I'm having a real weird day.
I've blown her mind because on our other show, she didn't realize that the movie God's Not Dead was fake. She thought it was like a documentary.
I thought it was documentary.
Because she had avoided it that much.
Yeah. It was that successful that I'm like, oh, I don't know anything about Kim Kardashian. Like, it was one of those moments and you're like, bullshit. But no, it was true. I avoided it so hardcore because I thought it was a documentary.
No. But I think that's absolutely hysterical.
But now...
you know what, though? I have to say, I do kind of applaud you for avoiding it that much.
I avoided it that hard. I've never done that before in life. Like, I'm in the know a lot of the time.
I live under a rock for a lot of stuff.
No, you don't.
And then a few things that...
No, you don't. You're very politically aware. Like, you know...
Politically aware now. Well, I have 2 podcasts that I record now that we talk about...
So you have to
religious news or pop culture. Yeah. We haven't really talked about much pop culture. More oddball stuff on
just
this.
the underside of some rock.
That's
what we talk about.
Yeah. And then ourselves. Mostly me on this one.
You don't live under a rock. You're fine.
I mean, they're not calling me Patrick or anything. The starfish. That's an obscure SpongeBob reference.
I got the SpongeBob. I got that. But no, you made me watch the God's Not Dead trailer. It looks awful.
It does.
Well,
it is. But whatever.
It looks super
but
bad.
That's not what the show's about. We'll let that.
We'll leave it to that. But
go.
I just had to say I saw the trailer and I was upset by that.
Yeah. So we were talking about before the intro music. We were talking about perfumes and body soaps and stuff like that, which kind of leads into what our first story is. We literally just found this a little bit, like a few minutes ago, right before we recorded, just by chance. And it's like, hey, this is actually kind of an interesting topic. The picture that's there kind of weirds me out. The look on the girl's face. She's got her hands up in her hair and got some weird surprised deer in the headlights look.
Because her hair is greasy.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. But what this is actually on. This is not any area that I would actually peruse myself. I think this actually caught your attention, and I just went ahead and clicked on it.
Yeah, because it said this lady didn't shower for a month, and I was like, did she really not? No, she really didn't shower for a month.
But it was like partly to test, I think, some kind of spray.
Yeah, some probiotic,
probiotic
spray.
Did it say what it was called?
Mother Dirt AO Plus Mist.
Yeah, mist.
A mist.
It says here, it's a live probiotic spray that's supposed to replenish your skin's good bacteria so that you can bathe less frequency and improve your complexion.
Doesn't the bacteria that live on your skin, if you wanted to replenish it, you'd just go without showering for a couple days?
And then it would come back.
It comes back all the time.
Yeah.
You cannot live without that bacteria all over you, pretty much.
Right. I remember like seeing some video or a picture or something before of like this man that just he hadn't bathed in years and years.
What do you look like?
Oh, he was just. I think he started off as a white guy, but he just looked.
Shut up.
It sounds really bad and racist, but like he started off. I think he started like he was clearly a white guy, but to look at him at first glance, he was just brown.
Wait,
like he had a
was he,
layer.
like-
He had a layer of dirt
Okay, like
that he was just brown.
the homeless have a layer of dirt, and they're often like super badly sunburned too on top of it all. So they often look a lot darker than their skin should be. But was it like that? Like
don't
he had been
know.
like exposure?
Maybe a little bit. I don't know. But they said that they tested him because they figured, oh, he's probably got all kinds of diseases. I remember this article. I don't have a link to this. This was years ago. I'm just kind of going based off of memory.
Cool. Let's do it.
But I remember somebody actually did some kind of like, they swabbed him, tested him, stuff like that. Because they're like, okay, this dude's got to be carrying some kind of diseases. And his skin was actually healthy.
Really?
Yeah, like they said, he's got all the bacteria that his body's supposed to have there. But he's just really dirty.
Cool.
But
All right.
he was. I don't know. I would say living the dream, but he was getting by.
But they said that eliminating this good bacteria leads to acne, rosacea, eczema, psoriasis. Wow.
Yeah, I get a little bit of psoriasis on my elbows, but just like in the spring and summer, and that's it. Like ever since I was a kid, and we didn't know what it was at first. Like it wasn't until I reached adulthood that I actually put it together that that's what it was.
My
Like we just
sister-
knew that like I would get some little breakout on my elbows, and my mom just always thought, oh, I have some kind of allergy to the cleaner that they use on the desks at school because I would sit with my elbows on the desk. That's what we thought it was.
Ew.
It made sense. And then like I grew up and I realized kind of what it was, put a little cream on it and disappear.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Whatever. That's the end of that story.
But this lady has eczema and psoriasis. So she said, I'll try this mist in lieu of showering. And they were only allowed to what? Oh my God. They were only allowed to rinse their face, underarms, and groin area with water every 3 days.
I'm sure
instead they spritzed that stuff on them to... Oh. So the lady stopped wearing makeup
I can't
for
imagine
this.
the funky smells
I
these
can't
women would have.
either.
I'm sure if they worked in an office, I bet the office made them work from home.
Oh my God. Yeah, she said her armpits have a dead animal smell.
Oh my God. That's gross.
She said her hair was clumpy with grease and smells like a moth-addled basement. Oh, truly dirty hair smells bad. Have you ever let your hair go really, okay, maybe not. No,
me.
your hair's too short, really. But
Yeah.
if you would, let your hair go, I was on a camping trip, and I'm like, I'm just not going to bathe this whole camping. It was a week. It was a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, that smells bad. My hair smelled bad. I was like, I didn't know that would happen.
Yeah. Like I've let my boy push it. Like I think the most he ever went without a bath was almost a week. But it's not like he wasn't getting dirty.
No.
So I was like, yeah, whatever. But then finally I caught a whiff of his hair and I'm like, okay, buddy, you're due for a bath.
Yeah,
Let's go get in the
hair will
tub.
smell- I'm like,
Because he didn't look
weird.
dirty, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't running, getting sweaty, playing in the dirt. I was like, and I just didn't think about it because I didn't see him being dirty.
How often do you shower? Every single day?
At least every other day.
I'm
But depending on it,
an every other day person too.
Sometimes it'll happen. I don't know, depending on the mood I'm in, or if I've got something going on, it'll happen once a day, a few days in a row. Today was an oddball day because I took a shower this morning because I needed a shower, but then I didn't shave. I was in a hurry and I didn't shave. Well, I shave when I take a shower, And plus, I would go walking over lunch when I take my lunch breaks now. So if it's a particularly hot day, I might work up a sweat, and I don't want to stink the rest of the day. So then, like, I'll come back home and I'll jump in the shower and just take a quick shower to rinse off real quick, and then get back because I don't want to sit in here.
Do you okay? When Scott has super dry skin, and he went to the doctor, like, what do I do about this? And the guy's like, don't use soap. He's like, use soap on your triangle, your pits, and your crotch.
Right.
And that's all you really need to use it for. Like, that's it. You don't need to, like, lather up your whole body. I've kind of adopted that to where...
My skin feels kind of dry right now, but...
Well, I'm like the kind that jumps out of the shower, has to put lotion on immediately.
Yeah.
I can just feel my skin tight. Like, I have super dry skin, too.
I've only recently gotten the habit of using this little moisturizer thing, because, like, not that this is, like, this is by no means a paid advertisement of anything. This is what I use. Like, I use the Dollar Shave Club. I have for a few years now.
Really?
And they've got their own little line of all kinds of stuff. But they have the stuff that was like a repair serum or whatever. And it was like, after you shave, like if you have any little bumps or red marks or whatever, it would help with the inflammation and stuff like that.
Does it?
It does a little bit. Cool. But like there was one week where I went and did some stuff down at my property, and I don't remember getting into any poison ivy. I don't remember seeing it because it was before the weeds really grew up. But I had like these bumps that looked like it was just some kind of rash. It would not go away. I used like a poison ivy soap, would not go away. Like just the stuff would not go away. I was like, well, I've run out of stuff to try. I squirted some of this stuff on it. Within a day, it was gone.
Really?
Yeah. And so I actually even started using it because I've been spending more time outside too, going walking. I was like, it felt like just like a good, decent moisturizer. So I've been using this when I get out of the shower. I'll just put some on my face. Like, not just where I shave. I'll do my forehead.
You need to
my
moisturize
cheeks.
your face. I told Scott this too. He didn't use any sort of moisturizer before he met me. And I was like, unacceptable.
Yeah.
So we bought one just for his face and then one just for his body. And they're the masculine ones. He doesn't like any sort of scents. He hates scents.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy that, like, I walk out of the house smelling like I do because he's like, oh, you smell terrible. You're giving me a headache. Like, he'll yell that at me.
Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, but yeah, the only other stuff that I use, and at this point, I don't even give a shit if I say this because there's not many people listening to this show. But for the longest time, I've been losing my hair. And I just noted, the first time I really saw it on camera that it's getting smaller now. I finally broke down, like, I didn't realize how bad it was.
Wait, when did you?
I started using, like, the CVS brand of Rogaine, like, 3 months ago.
Really?
Yeah. And it's gotten better.
Really?
Like, it's significantly shrunk up. Like, I can't tell because I don't have a separate hand mirror to hold, but I'll use my phone and do, like, one of these hold it
You
up
need
by
a
my head to look in
hand
the
mirror, God.
And I couldn't initially tell the difference myself doing that.
Do you think it'll fill in
But
completely?
I don't know if it'll completely fill in or not. But, like, my wife and even my mom and dad said they can tell that it's smaller than what it used to be.
Really?
So, but I feel like my hair in general is getting thicker.
Because of
it's
that?
just little drops. Because I'll put it in, and of course it wants to run all over the place. And I'll just use my comb and just kind of
comb it through.
Instead of I used to use hair gel all the time, and my hair would stick together, and it would feel really thin up front, like it would just look really thin. Ever since I've been using it, I gave up using it. I still got my bottle of hair gel, but I don't use it anymore because this stuff, it's just sticky enough that it'll keep my hair down. So I'll just use that.
Is it a daily thing?
Yeah, I got to use it twice a day.
Really?
So I use it, I'll do it when I get up in the morning, and then sometime, which I did it again after I took my shower this evening, so I'd have time to dry. That's the thing, I always forget about it, and then I do it before bed, and then I got to sit up for a while and let it dry, or
do
else,
its thing?
Yeah. Otherwise, it would rub off on the pillow or whatever. But after a while, and that's part of the reason I think I take so many showers, just to get the dryness of that off.
Oh, is it super
because
dry?
it gets flaky. Like after a while, I'll take my comb and I'll start combing, and it looks like dandruff, and it's just this stuff.
Oh, weird.
There, so I'll sit there and just like really like and it look like a snowfall or whatever. So it's like I'll go and just extra wash my hair a couple extra times to get all that off, and then
that's
put
I never
when I'm
knew how that
done,
stuff worked.
I took a gamble on it. I was kind of iffy on it. I was like, you know what? I don't feel like I'm old enough that I should be that bald yet. But
My brother was
I have
bald at 20.
But I have such a high stress level at work, kind of, that
You think
that contributes
it's
to that and the
premature?
gray hair. Yeah, I've had gray hair though since I was 18.
Really?
Like a little bit. Like I got my first one when I was 18,
Oh my gosh.
and there was a while I haven't done it lately, but like my sister-in-law would cut and color my hair for me. So there was like a good while like there was gray and it just didn't show, and finally I just like F it, you know.
Is it all fine? Whatever.
Yeah. Now it's just there.
Yeah. But
And not on top, just on the sides. I got like that Reed Richards like from Fantastic Four thing
you
going.
do.
So whatever. Be nice if I had the money and the brains to go with it. But whatever.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so yeah, we're talking a lot more about
No, but she did.
makeup and hygiene than I thought we would.
She said her psoriasis and eczema improved. And she said water is all I need to get perfectly clean.
You know what's really good for that stuff though naturally is just like sunlight, tanning,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Just getting your vitamin D that way really clears that stuff up. I didn't realize that. I work in the tanning biz. I didn't realize that till I started that. You know, there's people
go just for their eczema. That's what my sister did. She had eczema really bad.
I've had people actually get a prescription
for
from
tanning.
Yes, they got a prescription from their doctor to get a tanning bed to treat like really severe psoriasis, and their insurance paid for it.
My God.
Now, granted, it wasn't a huge bed. It was like either a 16 or a 24 lamp bed, but still,
yeah, that's insane.
that's a couple $1,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 depending on the type of bed and who you buy it from and all that. So
wait, she came out of this experiment and she says, now I only shower 2 times a week. Sometimes with soap, but often without. I wear less makeup and fewer beauty products. Moisturizer, sunscreen, blush, mascara.
What's a CC cream?
Complexion correcting cream.
Okay.
I think that's what
it
CC
makes sense.
means.
Because that's what she said, a CC cream that contains sunscreen, blush, and mascara. So.
All right.
I also don't stress as much about how I look because people aren't paying as much attention as you think.
Really?
Maybe if you didn't stink, they wouldn't pay as much attention. But if you're stirring up a funk, somebody's gonna look and be like, "What the hell is that smell?"
That's true.
And then look at you and be like, "No wonder." She clearly hasn't showered in a few days.
I notice when people don't shower,
Yeah.
if they clearly haven't showered.
I don't want to say that he didn't shower, but there was probably some lack of showering happened. There was a dude that I went to college with, super nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't say this to be mean by any means. This is just anecdotal story. Really super nice guy. Actually, we had a lot of the same classes together and stuff like that. He and I got along really well, like personality-wise. But he was a little bit of a bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a funk.
All the time?
Most of the time.
A low level?
Just kind of a low level.
Like, oh, okay.
Like, you'd walk out of the room and you'd come back and you're like, oh, yeah, he's here.
Oh.
Or he's been here. One of those. And it's like, I know the dude had to shower, but I think it was probably one of those cases like where there probably was some layers.
Oh!
And
Oh,
you
like,
probably need to get
under?
up and just didn't get under the layers.
I shouldn't be like that. Yeah, okay, fine.
I'm assuming that's what it was.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it was. I mean, I think the family in general didn't have a ton of money. Because I knew a place where his family, like I knew where his grandma used to live by chance. Like I didn't know her, but he happened to mention to me that this is where they lived before. And like his grandma had died and his family ended up inheriting the house and moved in. And I think they were hoarders as well.
Oh, but hoarding will make your
Hoarding.
house smell awful, too.
Yeah.
Because you'll, lose track of what's underneath and stuff will rot. And
it got so bad, like, the neighbors complained, like, his little brother got taken away for a little while.
Yeah, if your house smells bad, you can't get it off you.
Like, the brother got taken away for a while. Like, the the police and fire department had to come in, like they came in like with hazmat suits and hip boots and all that stuff, and like had to like wade through. And
because usually people have animals in the
stuff
mix
out.
too, and you will not be like they just let them go in the house.
Was bad. It was pretty bad. But I was like, yeah, that kind of like in hindsight, because all of that stuff happened after I got out, like of having college with him and stuff like that. It was just one of those after the fact things, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like I just started kind of piecing it together.
The dirty kids were always the ones that got picked. Like there wasn't a lot of like bullying in my school, but if there was,
because there was a couple families like at my school, like
it was a dirty,
and it was spaced out because like the older sibling was in my class, the younger sibling was in my sister's class, and I can pick out a couple different families here and there over the years that kind of hits that a little bit, like one more than the other, but it was just one of those weird things. Like you could tell they tried. You could tell they were trying to keep up, but I don't know if it was just kind of a lack of money thing or what. I hate to, or at least I do. I hate to try to like impose any kind of stereotype because I don't know what the situation was.
Yeah,
I'm pushing 20 years now since I graduated high school. I'm having to think back that far. So, but you don't know what that situation is.
No, you never know what anybody's is. And my mom is a preschool teacher. She's in a low income area. Like they have to qualify to go to her preschool. Yeah. So she has to go into some of these houses, and she's like, Amanda, there's not furniture in some of these houses. She's like, there's literally nothing in them, and you know they're the type that serves breakfast and lunch to the kids and does food drives for them to send food home with them in their backpacks and stuff like that. And she's like, it's sad because some of these kids are so hungry when they come in. Yeah. So she's like, you can just tell they maybe didn't eat since I last saw them. Right.
There was, the town at the video store, because I've talked about the video store before. The town that's in is kind of a poor town, really. That's actually where the last story I was talking about. Oh, that's where that kind of happened with the hoarding part of it, anyway. But this was probably a couple of years ago now. Might have been early. You know what? It actually was early last summer. I was getting new mattresses for the kids' beds. And I had to get rid of the old ones. They were like, my wife had them forever. They weren't bad, but it's just kind of like we're just starting to break down a little bit. Mm-hmm. It didn't seem as comfortable for us to try to lay in with the kid or whatever. So like, I wanted some new mattresses, but I wanted to get rid of the old ones because they were sitting here in the office for a couple of days. Like, they got to get out of here. So I was putting stuff on Facebook, like, got to get them out. Somebody take them, please. Free. Just you haul it, get it out of here. Well, a lady that I used to work for at the video store still knew some of the people down there. And she said, oh, I've got somebody that could use those. I was like, let's do it. So she came here after she got off of work. We loaded them up in her truck, and I went with her to unload them down there. And the little boy that was going to be getting, I think they were just going to stack the two of them up for this one little kid to sleep on. He didn't. It was like a couple family. There's like the grandparents and the mom and dad and the kids all living under one roof. And it wasn't that big of a house. Oh, yeah. And like the little boy didn't have his own bed. Like he was having to sleep in the recliner.
No, that was Scott. That was my husband. When he was little, he had to sleep in a bed that
like pulled out
from underneath. No, pulled out from underneath his parents' bed. It was like a trundle bed.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't have his own room.
Oh, wow.
No, he didn't. He was poor. Wow. So.
I mean, me and my sister had to share a room.
Oh, I had to share a room with my sister.
Because we had bunk beds, and we shared a room until through 5th grade. And then we moved when we were getting the house built. And at that point, we finally got separate bedrooms.
See, I think Nick and Sarah were through like 7th grade. They had just,
oh my God.
Yeah, and it was just like not working near the end. They were like kind of fighting with each other because my brother was a little bit of slob, and then my dad kind of made up a room in the basement for Sarah to go to. So.
Wow.
But we didn't live in a big house.
Yeah. The first house wasn't that big that I grew up in, and then we moved from there while our other house was actually getting built that I lived in through high school graduation. Mom and Dad actually bought just a trailer, just a mobile home trailer, parked it on the property.
Oh.
So we lived in that for like a year while the house was getting built.
Do they
so we
still
watched
have
the house.
That one?
No, we sold it. And I know exactly where it sits. Like I could drive
Cool.
you to that trailer where it sits down in Edinburgh right now.
Sweet.
Yeah. Not really.
No, it is kind of cool.
But it was kind of neat because we actually got to watch the house be built and
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, that's kind of why they did it. So yeah, I don't really have any. Well, at least not that it pertains to any of this stuff. Like I'm sure I could tell some stories, but nothing that really pertains to any of the topic at hand. But nothing comes to mind anyway.
I used to think my cousin's trailer was awesome because they had what are they, trailers? What do you call them?
It's mobile home.
Just mobile home, whatever.
Yeah.
And they had one, but they got their own rooms in it. And like my aunt was crazy about cleanliness too.
Yeah.
And they like had all the latest toys in their rooms and stuff. I was like, oh my God. They still had all like the coolest toys. I wonder if she still has them because I thought they were the most awesome thing.
I remember...
So I'm like, trailers are great. And then like I thought they were like ritzy and fancy because she always kept hers so nice and great.
Yeah.
And then
No,
was
that was
like,
just her personality.
no, it was just her. Yeah, like just being like a champion housekeeper. She still is. She's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you move a placemat, and she's like, it's funny.
I remember the first time I got to go meet my wife's parents because they live like 2 hours north of here, and like right before you get to their house, there's like this small trailer park that you drive past,
And you're like, oh, here we go.
And she was like, you're gonna pull in right here. I'm like, really? She's like, no, I'm kidding. Just keep on going.
Well, that's me.
It's like, oh my God. Not that I have anything against people that live in mobile homes. Like I said, I lived in one.
I think they're a ripoff because of the lot rent. Like if
It's
you're
crazy.
in the trailer
Yeah.
park, you own your trailer. Like you can,
But you pay.
but you could be paying on the trailer and the lot rent.
Yeah.
Which is shitty because they're just giving you a tiny slice of land.
Yeah.
And then like it's kind of expensive for what you're getting to have to pay
Right.
that. So it's like the
Yeah.
cycle of poverty right then and there. Like we're witnessing it
Yep.
in the trailer park.
Yep.
But in my hometown, we have parks that like speculators bought, and they don't live in Michigan. They'll live in another state,
Right.
Florida or something like that. And they'll be like, oh, it's not working out. The people aren't paying their rent because everybody's so fucking poor.
Right.
So they'll just let them go to seed. Well, then they get stripped. So they'll pull off the aluminum siding. They'll strip any pipes.
Wow.
They'll strip the skirting around. So you seriously have like a graveyard of these pink insulations just flying in the wind.
Oh my God.
And it looks terrible. And they somehow, we can't go after these people.
Are there people still living in them? Or
if they are, they're just squatting.
Gotcha.
And I don't think it's become really, really sad. Like driving past it, I'm like, I can't believe a place like that exists in America. Because they're like skeleton frames. Some of them may have windows. Some of them get busted out because kids.
Yeah.
And then it's seriously just insulation flapping in the wind around these like shoebox looking
That's
things.
messed up.
It's really messed up. I should take pictures the next time
Yeah.
because it's
I'm
seriously
curious
I
to
could
see what that
drive
looks
there
like.
from I used to have to when I was a reporter.
Yeah.
This landlord that was shoddy went and left this trailer park or that one, so I'd have to go into the trailer park. Didn't feel safe. Take pictures of the dilapidated buildings for my story and
Right.
because there was one guy that wasn't even connected up to water. Like, oh, I'll build that pipe. No, never did. And it's crappy. Yeah, it's crappy.
I remember just talking about trailers. Jeez. This is actually up in Michigan. I got a decent, it's kind of a work story. So I'll try not to get too technical for everybody here, but I've mentioned nowadays I deal with tanning beds and stuff. I had a lady call like a couple of months ago, and she said that she was in the process of buying, or she had already bought this bed. We refer to it as the SS755. It is
Cool.
By the time that we were done manufacturing, I would say it was probably the second to biggest bed power-wise, and it was huge. Like, you needed for it to comfortably sit in the room and stay cooled, you wanted like a 10 by 10 room for it to sit in. Okay.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Okay. She bought this thing. She wanted me to help her find a service person in her area that could help her get it installed. I ended up giving her a number for a guy that's like in the Flint area. Which, yeah. And now granted, she was I still like a couple hours away from him, but he was the closest guy. But this bed is huge. Like, there's what's called 3-phase and single-phase power. I won't bore you with all the details of that, but everybody's homes are going to have what's called single-phase. Okay, the purpose of 3-phase is it lets you have a smaller breaker. Well, okay, I'll get into it real quick just to teach people. So there's 3-phase and single-phase. Okay, so if you have like your standard 2-pole breaker, like a 220 volt, like for your dryer or your air conditioner or whatever.
You got those.
So you got your breaker that's like 2 levers that move at the same time. That's called single phase.
And then you need the special plug to go in there that's different.
Usually,
and you
yeah.
use it, okay.
If it's something that has a plug. Now this bed is so big it would get, actually we normally would have people hardwire it.
Oh, straight into the bus?
To whatever. Yeah, you'd have like a junction box or something there and just hardwire stuff down. Okay. This bed on single phase uses a 100 amp breaker.
Oh, that's like a small house.
Yeah.
So you need to install a separate breaker for it.
Itself. Yeah. Yes. Completely dedicated 100 amp breaker. She needs help getting this thing moved into her trailer.
No.
At first it was like one of my ladies from the lamp department was asking about this. I was like, you're kidding me, right? Like you got to be pulling my leg. I realize you've not seen this bed before. This isn't going to work. She's going to burn her trailer down by doing this. Or this bed is so heavy. Really, it's more, this thing is so heavy, it's going to just go through, or the trailer would just tip up on it.
So much electricity coursing through that trailer.
Because that unit, hang on, I can tell you.
He's telling us.
Okay, the shipping weight in the crate. Okay. Now keep in mind, this thing was built fully assembled, it's stuck on the crate. The crate itself probably would weigh 150 pounds because it's had just all wood. Okay. The shipping weight of the container is 1,750 pounds. So you knock off maybe a couple hundred. It's like, so we're talking about 1,500 pounds for this one tanning unit. She was going to put that. So what we were told in her, what's a big trailer? So it's a double wide. But I was like, it's still not going to work. That's what I was hearing from the lady that I work with. So I call this lady and basically had to try to talk her out of getting this particular tanning unit.
Would another one have fit in there and like been
something smaller? Okay. Yeah, she could have got something a heck of a lot smaller.
But she's like, deluxe.
She's like, oh, I've already bought this. I was like, well, this isn't going to work. She's like, well, I've got the house part. I'm like, what does that mean? She's like, well, I've got the trailer part that I live in, and then I got a little bit of a walkway, and then we've got the house part that was added on. I was like, I don't know what that means, but she's planning on putting it somewhere else. I was like, well, you still have to have all these power requirements. You probably don't have that at your house. Like, you're going to have to get so much more stuff done.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. Here's the number for this guy. I got tired of talking to her. I was like, here's the guy that is closest to you. And forgot all about it.
Does he call you up like,
just today, he calls me up and he starts talking. He's like, yeah, I got this lady that got this other bed that we called a 548. About half the, like, power-wise, about half the size of it, maybe. But still a pretty decent sized bed. Like, it's going to require like a 65 amp breaker. And he's kind of joking about this. And I'm hearing it, and I forgot that he was the one that I give her number to. And I'm like, dude, I was like, you say that about putting that bed in a trailer? I was like, I got one better for you. I was like, I got this lady that was going to put the 755 in here. He's like, oh, no, that's her. That's the same lady. I'm like, yes, I knew it. He's like, I actually got her talked down to this other bed that's smaller, but she wants to fix, like, it showed up damaged, and she's got all this stuff that she's got to repair on it. But he's like, it's been an absolute nightmare he had to tear it apart, put it in there, put it back together. It doesn't work because of all this damage that was done. Jesus. He's like, he's like, thanks for the business, but I don't know if it was worth it. It's been a nightmare. So yeah, people, if you live in a trailer, 24 lamps bed or smaller, because it's only going to require a 20 amp breaker. Still 2-pole, but a 20 amp breaker. I'll finish what I was going to say with 3-phase and single phase. Okay, so single phase, just to teach you something here and teach you guys something here. I don't know how well it'll show up.
It shows up. Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
So single phase, so you got L1, L2, and L3. This is a 3-phase setup. Okay? What that means, 3-phase, is I can do 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and 2 to 3. Each one of those I'm totally not talking into the mic here.
Right.
So hopefully that'll show up on the video. If you guys are just listening to this, sorry, you'll have to go check out the YouTube video to see this. So you've got L1, L2, and L3. If you were taking a voltage reading, you could check between L1 and L2 and get a reading. You go between L1 and L3, and you could do L2 and L3. And there's 3 combinations, so that means there's 3 phase. If you're single phase, you only have 2 wires. So you only have just the one combination you can do.
Oh.
And they call it single phase as opposed to 2 phase. It's single, but then when you add the third leg, you can do all these combinations. Okay. The reason that they do that is when you spread the load out across 3 different wires, your amperage draw goes down. So each line of power, basically you get the job done. I look at it this way. I'll use a better analogy. Let's say you have a car that breaks down on the side of the road, and you have to push it or pull it or whatever. Okay, we'll say pushing.
Using 3 ropes.
So using 2 people, yeah, you can get it done. It's a little tough. You got to use a lot more oomph. And then a third person shows up, makes it a lot easier on everybody. Everybody's using less energy to push this car. So that's kind of the concept. So you have your breaker size goes down because there's more lines of power. But you're only going to get that in big businesses and stuff like that, more current stuff.
I think Chad's good. I didn't do much entertaining right now.
You're such a slacker.
I'm not good at just filling in. Oh, well.
Yeah. Okay, so
you searched Blink-182.
I did search Blink-182.
I'm
Oh,
so
yeah,
glad
so we
you
have to
did.
talk about that. So
No.
So Amanda
You're
posts.
a troll. You're a troll, by the way.
Hey, it was the Phil Collins thing all over again.
Which we talked about. Didn't we talk about
We
Phil
did talk
Collins?
about that
Okay.
on here. So, but I like Blink-182. Like I put on the post, like I didn't know any of their albums, but I did go like through Amazon Prime and stuff. I think I made a playlist of their music at one point in time for myself to listen to, just like all the songs that I really knew.
It reminds me of high school because that's
Yeah,
when
it
they
does.
were
That's
at
why
their,
I love it.
That when they were at their peak, I was in high school, and I think somebody performed one of their songs at our like night before ceremony for graduation. So that's always what it reminds me of is graduating.
Yeah. But she made a comment like you heard their new song. I've not even heard it.
And it's like it's very simple lyrics, very simple hook, not much if a hook at all. I don't know,
Yeah.
and it's just unmistakably Blink-182.
Yeah.
And I was like, I heard a new Blink-182 song, like "Hello 2003."
But I remember like our friend Jeremy kind of chimed in and made kind of like a almost snide remark about it. He's like, should I like it? But then I think I should like this. But then I remember, it's Blink-182. I'm like, what? I was like, I like them.
So
then I went and
got
posted.
a point in that it's very simplistic music. It exists just for the sake of pop. Like that's that.
Yeah, it's teenage angsty music.
Oh yeah. And you were
Definitely.
like, I like them.
love
And then you
them.
started posting. Like,
I posted one
videos.
music video,
Yeah.
and it was strictly just as a callback to the whole Phil Collins,
You're trolling.
Peter Gabriel thing.
You're trolling my music Facebook post hard.
It was only strictly just as a callback
And-
joke. But
then
I
he-
kind of almost feel like I made him uncomfortable because I was like, hey, I like them. And he's like, well, I'm not saying that they're all bad and all that. So I was giving him a hard time. I was like, yeah, look at him backpedal now and all that. I was like, dude, I'm just kidding with you. But I was like, oh my God, I almost felt like I made him feel bad for a second. I don't think I did. But
I think he was like, oh, I'm getting played again.
yeah, totally. I can't believe we filled up the card. I just need to get a bigger card and fit in there, I think. We'll have to see.
I don't know.
That's the first time I've ever actually maxed that out.
Oh, God.
That I've ever actually done that. That's
Are you sure you're deleting things off
I
of it?
deleted it right before we got started.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
We need to, like...
pick it up. Yeah. Anyway, so let's move on. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if I thought I did. Pretty sure I did. Anyway, whatever. Let's move on. We got more stuff to talk about. So this I just found earlier today, and it stood out to me because the main office for the place that I work for is based out of Jonesboro, Arkansas, and that's where this story takes place. So this is the website for this is Arkansas Online. I don't know if it's just an online newspaper or what this is. But the headline on this says, Arkansas man arrested after 134 pounds of marijuana shipped to his home. I find that absolutely hysterical because from what the story says, basically he ordered it. I'm assuming he would order it. I don't know if he ordered it online.
It came from Mexico.
It came from Mexico.
It was online.
He had to order, but that's a lot. But so the cops traced this, like they figured out what was going on. They traced it, but they went to the point of like disguising themselves as the courier service that's delivering it.
$500,000 bond he's being held on. Oh.
They deliver it, they help him load it up into his truck, and they're like, "Here, sign this." And then when he signs for it, they're like, "Thank you, you're under arrest."
That's what they did?
And I think that's pretty much the gist of it, because like he signed for the package containing marijuana and had officers place it in the back of his truck. So it's not really a long article. They got a picture of the dude. You can tell he looks really disappointed. He's like, "Man, I don't get my pot."
He should get his pot. I'm one of those people that believes marijuana should be completely legal.
Oh, it should be.
Well, not completely. I mean, like let's
reason.
do the smoking age here. You know, if you're gonna smoke it, fine.
Yeah.
You know, like there should be an age restriction on it, but yeah, it should be completely legal. Aside from that.
What's really funny though, I showed you a picture of this and we were talking about it earlier. That my son and daughter both got these little plants from the store. And they were just like, you know, one of them was Frozen, the other one's Spider-Man. It's like got the little dirt pellet. You know what I'm talking about? It's like just a really compacted pellet, and you just soak it with water, and it kind of swells up. And it's basically your potting soil for these little packet of seeds that you put in. And his was called like a creeping something or other. I can't remember what it was called. I don't even remember what hers was called at all. Hers didn't really take off. It finally started to sprout a couple the other day. His took off like a weed. Ironically enough. And I get to looking at these things. I really should have thought to bring it up here to get on camera, but I took a picture yesterday and sent it to you.
It did look like marijuana too. Maybe
they look
it had
like
an extra leaf
the leaves.
on it.
There's another leaf on there as well that is this weird round, like two rounded leaves that kind of sprout from one stem. But most of the leaves on this thing, I swear, look like a pot leaf. Like I sent it to you and I sent it to somebody else and I was like, "Does this look like what I think it looks like?"
It did, yeah.
And everybody's like, "Yes, this totally looks like a pot plant." But my wife was like, "Oh God, like what are we gonna do? What if something got mixed up here and we've got a pot plant growing in our kitchen?" So she went and looked it up. She's like, "Oh no, it's supposed to look like that. It's gonna grow like if it had it." You know, if you had like a trellis or something, it would crawl up the trellis and then it sprouts these red flowers for Spider-Man.
You should plant it outside just to make your neighbors wary. Like you live right by. I
live around so many cops.
There's three at least that I've seen.
I'm not going to plant it out here. We might plant it at the new house if that ever happens. But because I don't want another big vine.
Oh, like we've got hack down.
Because we've got out by the mailbox. We've got a clematis vine that goes up. And then last year, I mean, I chopped it down right by the dirt. And it's already... it comes back. Every year, it comes back stronger than the last year. Like, I put up one truss. I need to go stick another one out there again already. Just to hold
guide
up.
it.
Because it will get so heavy that the whole thing falls over.
The mailbox?
Not the mailbox. The little wire trellis thing that you stake into the ground right there. Like, at one point, I think we had like 3 of them there. Trying to hold this thing up, and then wires wrapped around the mailbox post just to keep it upright, because otherwise the whole thing just tips.
Dang.
It's big. It gets huge, like way bigger, and it's a pain in the ass too, because when it dies, it's all stiff and hard, and you got to really hack it and all that just to get it all out. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of pot humor really. I was never much of a pot joke type of kid. I'm not even a smoker.
I have tried it, but the only time I've tried it is when I've been already drunk. Terrible.
I you know what? I know that because you mentioned it on here once before, because I listened to that podcast while I was walking one day to review.
It was unfortunate.
It's like, yeah.
Yep. I don't have much experience with it.
I don't at all. I remember there was a couple of kids in high school that were notorious for being they were just labeled as the pot kids. And I remember one of them was like a freaking genius when it came to math.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he's one of those kids, he didn't stick at our school till he graduated. But I remember, like, being around him, sometimes he would just have that smell to him.
Oh yeah, I don't
Or
think
he
it
would just
smells
like
good.
he would just kind of have like he's like just do this big exhale in my general direction. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, your breath just reeks of pot. It's just terrible. But anywho, yeah, I didn't really hang with that type of crowd in high school, so I have no first or second hand experience with any of that. The only thing that might be close, and I really respected the dude for this. There was a time frame way a long time ago that a cousin of mine tried to put on a comedy show. Like, he actually was producing, like, he tried to get a bunch of local comic. He wanted to be a comic himself. He was a much better producer than he was a comic. But he got a bunch, like, he was friends with a couple people and reached out to other, like, up and coming comics. Now, granted, this is like 15 years ago, roughly. And put on a show with the Art Craft Theater down in Franklin. I think they did 2 shows. We did it on a weekend. I got involved because I was filming, documenting everything for him. And but I remember one day, you know, a few days before the show, he was setting stuff up and he was talking to somebody. I was along for the ride with him. And whoever we go to visit that was supposed to be helping set stuff up was a pot smoker. And he was going to blaze up right in front of us. Like, he rolled one.
I don't think that's outrageous, seeing somebody, like, smoke weed.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't offended or anything. I was kind of shocked. Like, wow. I was like, we've just met and you're going to do this. But what I really liked about this dude is, you know, he was gracious enough. He's like, do you smoke? I was like, nope. I was like, I don't smoke, so I'm good. And he's like, I'm sorry. And he walks over. He didn't stop, but he made a point to go over and he opened up his sliding glass door and he stood over there so that all the smoke went outside and wouldn't bother me.
That's just what a cigarette smoker should do.
I was like, that's just super nice. Like,
Yeah.
I know some cigarette smokers that probably wouldn't have even done that. It's my house, I'm going to smoke. But not that I know a lot of cigarette smokers anymore.
No,
but back
I
then,
don't either. And oh my god, the one time, like, I have weird in-laws, and Scott's brother is schizophrenic, and he's a chain smoker. So one time he came over to our house in Flint, and I'm like, in Michigan, and I'm like, I don't want your brother smoking in here, because that's all he does, smokes nonstop. I knew he'd have to smoke, and I'm like, I really...
Like, bad enough that he's lighting like one cigarette from the last one almost, or...
Almost. He's not doing that, but once he's done with one, he'll pick up another one. And I'm like, I don't want him smoking in the house. It's the dead of winter. It's freezing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess I have to tell him to go outside.
Yeah.
And this guy's like, nah, I'll tell him. I'm like, thank you, because you know, I don't talk to him much. And then instead of actually going outside, he just whips our back door open, still smokes in the house, and just stands right there. And I'm like,
my God.
all right, I got nothing to say, really. I just,
jeez,
I'm not gonna tell him, like, go outside proper, but no, he just smoked in the house anyhow. And I was like, all right,
That's
thankfully
so
your brother doesn't
rude.
visit all that much, but
still,
I don't think he knows that he's being rude. He's on so much medication.
He's doing his thing.
Yeah, he gets very, like, stuck on things. Like, if, like, there was a comic book store kind of somewhere in the vicinity, and it was like, we'll go to the comic book store. Then that's all he talked about, like, comic book store. Hey, do you think we'll go to that comic book store? What about the comic book store? Finally, his mother turned around and she's like, shut the fuck up about the comedy or the comic store. So,
jeez,
it's kind of a trip.
Yeah, I don't know if I've been around anybody like that. I don't know that I have been.
You would, I think you would know but he's pretty dang severe. Like, yeah. If he's not on his medicine. Gotcha. If he is on his medicine, very docile.
Gotcha.
Just not much. And he'll just repeat things a lot.
I gotcha.
But he does think people are watching him. Like, that's
just paranoid.
Yeah, just like out when he doesn't go out in public much because he thinks stuff's happening.
Gotcha.
So
that's really all I got. I'm kind of tapped out.
Me too. It's over.
We've been going for a while. We're almost at an hour.
Okay.
I think we're good. I just had the 2 stories. I think we threw in a lot of extra stuff that I didn't know that we would have stories for.
I know.
Really. That's what I love about this concept. Mm-hmm. So I need to get better at promoting this show. But whatever.
Okay.
We need to come up with a way to do it. Because I don't know that I want to just blast it out on Facebook. Hey, go look at this show. Because there's like certain people in the family that I'm like, I don't want listening to some of this stuff.
Then you'd have to be like, show to friends, except and then you can,
for-
and then you'd be like, oh, sitting there all day, click, 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 click,
click, click, click. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll find a way to do it. Anyway, I think we're gonna call it done.
We're good.
So if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a comment below, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to us, let us know what you think. You send us an email. That's in the pre-recorded outro, but just in case it's hard to hear, it is chadandamanda.tsa@gmail.com. And you can follow me on Twitter. I know that's at TSPChad, which the logo on it is for my other show, Secular Perspective. Also talk about that in the pre-recorded outros. I think I just totally did the pre-recorded outros right here.
I think you just did. I was like, oh, what's the use of those anymore?
I'm just rambling for the sake of rambling, I guess.
All right.
So we're gonna call it done. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.